All right. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? I know this is very spontaneous, but got a busy week ahead of me, so might as well knock this out now. Been meaning to turn on the stream and just do some casual researching and whatnot. The favors whoever that OWL guy isn't supporting. Well, now technically he's OWCS guy. But yeah, I thought today we could do a bit of a rundown of some of the stuff ahead of us, like with rosters and yeah. Primarily, I guess we most can only talk about Korea. I mean, Pacific and Japan are kind of on the table, but I don't know that much about those regions. EMEA and NA are kind of in the early stages of things still. I mean, they haven't even started yet. They start March 1st, which is the Swiss stage. So primarily today, we're probably going to focus on Korea, and then we can delve into EU and NA a tiny bit. Because there's some rosters I know of, but others that aren't that clear to me. So we can kind of go through it. Maybe I can get some help from you guys if I miss out on any specific teams. And yeah. So, I guess we can just dive right into our little start here. Korea, I think most of us are pretty familiar with, but I guess there's kind of a lot to unpack since they're in the next stage of things. They're starting the group stage this week, which is kind of crazy. It's gonna last a long friggin' time. This is a long group stage. Toronto gonna choke in Sweden, locking it in. You could be onto something there. So let's take a look-see at our Korea series, shall we? The results of their initial stage and qualifiers are in, and these are our participants. So these are the, 9 teams? 9 teams that are going to be a part of the groups, and top 4 advance to the seeding decider, bottom 4 last chance qualifier, and then they'll do a playoff after that. Okay. Gotcha. So it's like a round-robin group, which is sick. Everyone gets to play each other. We get to see all matches guaranteed, which is nice. Let me think here. And he's on a Florida Championship skin. I would not hold my breath. Don't think that's going to happen. If I'm being 100% honest with you, it's probably not in the cards. It's so funny looking at this, there's all these South Korean players, and there's just Surmajed who's just chilling. Yeah, this is last chance bracket, seeding decider, and then playoffs. It's what, 6 teams, I think? Because there's 2 teams that get a first round bye. Top 2 teams receive first round bye. Okay. Sounds good. So, I guess we can kind of divide it into those two types of territories. Like, who is probably going to get to the next round easily, and then who's going to be fighting in the last chance. Yo, there's Danny. Oh, no longer Owl Guy, Mr. OWCS guy now. I don't know, we'll see, Headspinner. Sermaged might actually be a good complementary piece to Fielder since he's like a more aggressive player and everything. I think it may make more sense than I gave it thought for initially. On the topic of that, I guess we can kind of just start with Team Falcons, right? You know, their roster got announced as like, okay, these guys are going to be insta favorites, no question, and it's not too surprising. I think that still kind of holds up. Just knowing how stacked this team is. I mean, it's just a bunch of superstar players, and then Majed's chilling there as well. I don't know if meta's really going to make a big difference with Falcons. This team feels pretty well-rounded. I'm not all that concerned about any, like, particular thing. I think they'll be good at most, if not all things, or, you know, like, at least at that top level. Maybe not the best, but they're gonna be good. Majed will not see playtime unless they're contracted to have him in. I mean, I saw a scrim screenshot got leaked, and Majed absolutely freaking destroyed everybody in the lobby. I have to see if I can find it. Because, like, this was before the patch came in, so, like, Zen is just absolutely insane. And he dominated the scrim. I know it's just a scrim, but, like, I'm just saying, like, there's potential there. Let me see if I can find the screenshot. Let's see. Ah, here it is. Found it. Look at this Majed stat line. He went 33 and 6 with 16,000 damage. And like, it's not like they're scrimming. It's not like they were scrimming an ordinary team. This was Lip and Shoe's team. He dismantled them. It's interesting that they have Fielder in the game with him. But, like, that's insane. 16k freaking damage on Zen. I'm probably gonna rank them now, or like get some initial thoughts on where I'd rank them. Lip was having a rough one that game. So yeah, like I think there is potential for Majed to work. Like it's just very meta-centric. It depends. It really will depend. Anyway. Generally, Falcons are looking pretty freaking good. Like aside from the whole Majed point, I mean, holy. It's very well balanced. There's star players everywhere you look on this team. Fearless and Prop retired. All the GOATs are going one by one. Yeah, true. I'm pretty confident in a proper Stalker DPS line. That has room to do some very disgusting things. Any kind of dive meta, and it's just GG. Yo, what up, Keon? Honestly, even outside of dive, I mean, like, they've both shown prowess on, like, Sojourn and stuff. Like, I think with how flexible they both are, they're probably going to play just about anything very, very well. Like, they'll cover each other's weaknesses, if there's even any. Like, it's just great to have two deep hero pools like that. And then, because you have Smurf and Hanbin, I don't really know how scared you'd have to be of metas and with the tank, unless there's a lot of swapping in-game, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. Is Falcons the best possible roster Korea have made? I don't know if it's necessarily the best possible, but like, it's about as good as it probably can be, mostly. There's only like a few small things you could maybe do better. Like maybe you want to put Shu on this team instead of Fielder. Pay for the war crimes when Max is in the lobby. Threw over all the OWCS teams. For Korea, at least. The other regions, it's kind of like we don't know who's playing yet exactly with, you know, all the main important rosters in, like, NA and EU. But on the topic of Falcons, yeah, I'm not worried about the tank line either. I mean, it's two literal legends, Smurf and Hanbin. Right now, it seems like a lot of Ramatra is being played, at least recently. I mean, I don't know as much about Korea. I think I saw they were scrimming Ramatra against Twisted Minds, and they lost a map. But Hanbin can play Ram. I'm not worried about that. I mean, honestly, even Smurf can, but Hanbin's goated. Just as much coverage as you could possibly ask for with this kind of tank line. It's ridiculous. Twilight Prav and Fearless didn't retire. Which team you reckon they'd be best fit on? Why not just have them all play together? Smile. And make their own team. Yo, what up, Booming Bob? So yeah, I like the DPS line, like the tank line, and then the back line, I mean, Chio Fielder's just a staple. There's not much else to say there. They've been reliable for years. And then there's the wild card of Majed, and as we've been talking about so far in this stream, we don't necessarily know what his use is going to be on this team, but I can see a world where he plays. Because he is a lot more aggressive than Fielder, of course. And you'll take him on Zen for sure over Fielder. Red Lycopenia yet? No. Oh god, we got the sad Pokemon music being played. Yeah, generally though, Falcons don't have a lot of weaknesses. Isn't Ball being played a lot in ranked after the health increase? Ball is being played a lot, but in a lot of the scrims I've been seeing recently, it's been a lot of Ramatra. Ramatra seems pretty strong right now. It's nice that we actually get to watch scrims and stuff, and that stuff is not kept secret. Can Majed play Lucio? No, we saw that fail miserably. Yeah, Falcons got Krusty and Junkbuck coaching the team as well, which is insane. Well coached, stacked from top to bottom. From a pure talent standpoint, they have more all-around than any other team in this particular bracket, in Korea at least. So I think they're probably going to do very, very well. They should end up being first place out of Korea come DreamHack in Dallas. You fully expect them to be the 1 seed, barring a miracle and or just like the worst meta possible for them. And I don't even know what that'd be, because they're going to be good in most metas. Like, it'd have to be like a heinous meta, like an absolute cheese meta. And right now that doesn't seem like the case. When do the matches start and where do we watch them? It's going to be on all of the Overwatch esports streaming platforms, Twitch and YouTube in particular. The old Overwatch League channel, they rebranded to Overwatch Esports. They will have those streams up for specific games. It's not going to be like every single match humanly possible, especially when NA and EU first get started. But once the ball gets rolling over there, it'll be just like here. Like all the Korea games, I believe, should be streamed. I don't see why they wouldn't be. And I'll pull up the post. For those curious about how you can watch. There's the Overwatch Esports Korea broadcast, the Overwatch Esports broadcast, or I think, is this just the Play Overwatch channel? Oh no, this is some other channel. But then you can also watch on Twitch. You can decide if you want to watch on Twitch or YouTube. And there's incentives as well for tuning in, which is cool. Lots of different avenues. You get your choice. And then NA and EU will start up a bit later once they get through Swiss stage. Find out Surge at the beginning of Season 6. Think it would have made the playoffs? Probably not. So yeah, I think the common consensus is surely Falcons #1. I think I'm going to write that down. I got a little, like, notepad here. So, OWCS, Korea, our ranking. 1 is certainly Falcons. We're just going to lock that in. On paper, definitely the best team. Who do I like next, though, is my #2. I mean, probably what? Probably WAC? Because they have Lipshu and Chorong. I don't think anything's gonna... Well, I mean, teams could beat that, but I think on paper, from like from a talent standpoint, they're probably #2, right? Like, there's questions about this team with, like, Hiseng, Junbin, and Max. But I think the benefits of having Chorong, Shu, and Lip probably outweigh it. Plus, I think these guys will be better on this team. I think Shock was kind of just, like, a weird year for all the O2 guys. We all saw it in, what's it called? Flash Ops. O2 High School played great. I think with a fresh start, we could see Max Junbin and Hiseng play a lot better. Not enough to be a world beater, I don't think, unless they, like, really capitalize on their potential. But if we're strictly looking from, like, the standpoint of Korea and, I guess, Asia in general, you can make a good case there, too. I mean, we all know what Lip, Chorong, and Shu can do. I mean, there is absolutely no reason to be worried about those guys. They're gonna pop off. I'd be a bit interested to see how this team does in, like, a full-on dive, like a non-Sombra dive. But Lip can Tracer. Clearly he has to work on it based off of, like, that one screenshot. But that's just a very small sample size. Superstar potential, of course. Him, Shu, and Chorong. That's like a pretty sick core to have for a team. Just those 3 alone can carry you, no doubt. And I think with proper resources, any 3 of these guys, though, 2 boys, could end up leveling up at least a little bit, you'd have to imagine. We know how much potential all 3 of them have, and Hiseng kind of showed it, especially when he joined Vancouver. There's something there. I think with a good, solid backline, we could see all of these guys show noticeable improvement. They had to play with some messed up backlines last year. FTG would put it when they put Yaki. Here's my question. Is there a reason Majetta's in Korea that in EM6? Just curious. I think it's mostly because Falcons is like a Saudi esports org, and they wanted to have some kind of Saudi representation on there. But, like, they were able to sign the Hamster Core, right? I mean, why wouldn't you? It's a no-brainer to sign a team like that. But then you plug Majed in there, and then you go to Korea. Where's Checkmate? We'll get to him a bit later. He's actually playing in EU for a Saudi team. Generally, though, WAC definitely has some questions to answer. I don't think they're going to be perfect in, like, every meta, like a Falcons, for example, where you feel confident in most things. I think there are going to be holes that could ruin them depending on meta. But if we're looking purely at the talent, I think they have a good chance of getting through this bracket as, like, one of the top seeds. I heard about Viper and Knife on the same DPS line since they play the same heroes. I actually think they could work well together. They're both pretty flexible players. And he's from China, like the Spark Squad. Well, China technically can't compete, so no. I heard their servers might be coming up soon, though. Or like a more permanent type of deal. But yeah, I think I'm probably gonna put WAC at 2 for now. I think compared to FTG, I like the roster slightly more. I think they have the potential to have a higher peak, so I'm gonna lock them in at 2. How does a champion team get chosen at the end? Is it like the... Oh, yeah, they're going to pick top teams from each region. They're all going to compete on the same LAN in Sweden at DreamHack. And that'll be the first champion, the global champion. Where's Proby and Spectra? Pokerface dropped them, or they decided to leave them. That's why you don't see them. Let me see. If we're talking about things that definitely don't stand out, Vesta Crew for sure. I mean, a lot of guys who have been in like the scene for a bit, but like compared to everyone else, it's not really the same level of power. Like they got in as a 3rd place last chance qualifier team. And it's more so just about being there for the fun of it, I guess. This team's not going to do anything. Oh yeah, Justin, very excited. Is South America one of the 4 regions? No. It's funny because Vesta Crew used to be a Pacific team. They were a Japanese team, actually, and then they decided to scoop up Koreans, which is interesting. Yeah, no, this team is definitely the worst. On paper, they are easily the worst. No offense to any of these guys. I've seen a lot of them play before. It's just like, compared to all these big, known teams with a lot of star players, yeah, they are number 9. They are 100% number 9. Will you be there no matter what for APAC Overwatch? I mean, I enjoy some APAC Overwatch. I won't be streaming it because it's at very late hours for me. Gotta stop doubting the underdogs, but like, there's an exception to that. Like, this isn't an underdog. This team's just here to play. An underdog is more so probably like Sin Priza or like Pokerface or Yeti. What up, Andrew? Yeah, Vesta Crew is literally just happy to be there. If they even win 1 game, I'd say that's a dub for them. And they will get a chance to play everyone. It is a round robin. To think only 2 of these teams will qualify for the international. Yeah, isn't that insane? Korea, I think it's absurd that Korea doesn't have more representation than that. Well, actually, Asia in general. Like, Korea is the most important country for Overwatch esports. How much I think Majed will get? It's very meta-dependent. Hear me out. The last time a Falcons team played competitively in any sport, they choked in the Super Bowl. Oh, that's messed up. Who are my 2 picks? If I was putting money on it, Falcons 100%, I'm locking it in. The other one is more so up for debate. I'd lean towards probably FTG or WAC personally, but I think a couple of these teams could end up being bigger threats than we might think. Well, there's not 2 from each. I think there might be more from certain regions. What are your thoughts on... Oh, I saw Albert talk about that. That was so funny. I'll pay BP to say that Falcons make it. I mean, he'll probably do that on his own. I don't think he got anything to worry about there. So yeah, I'm just gonna... put some placeholders here for a second, and then we're gonna put Vesta Crew at number 9. Not Vita Crew, Vesta Crew. Out these after. Do you know if any more Korean players are finding teams in NA or EMEA? It's kind of just like a you have to look and see type of thing. Both of those regions, like, only certain teams have made announcements that I'm aware of. Like, maybe there's some that you guys saw that I didn't. We'll get into that a little later. But as far as I'm concerned, it looks like mostly Korean players are going to be here in Asia, and then maybe, like, occasionally NA or EU, like, here and there. What region do you think is the weakest overall? NA. 100% NA. I think Toronto Defiant is hard carrying that region. EU is certainly stronger. I think EU might be the most underrated in terms of enjoyment this year. Because I think there's a lot of good teams over there. Do you have an official start date? Technically, it depends on the region. Like, Japan and Pacific are starting their games, like, literally this week. Korea and everybody else start on March 1st. And for NA and EU, it's just the Swiss stage. So it's going to be a lot of hoping some people stream their matches, because they're not going to have any official broadcast for the Swiss stage. I can actually, hold on. EMEA group stage. So yeah, they start March 1st through 3rd. And then after that, the group stage will be the week after. So for like NA and EU, it's going to be like March 8th when we get like actual like real bracket matches. Yeah, we'll look more on that later. I want to finish up Korea. EMEA is really strong. Japan starts in like 8 hours. Yeah, Japan's literally about to begin. I personally don't care that much because, like, you know, Korea is just so much better than Pacific, and as well as Japan. Although I gotta say, Japan is kind of a country to look out for. They're on the rise slowly, I think. It may take a bit more time, kind of like how Saudi quietly crept into things a couple of years ago. I think they're slowly on their way up. It's very popular, Overwatch, over there in Japan. They'll get there, I think, eventually, depending on the lifespan of this esport. Do you think they'll bring back OWL skins even after they retire? I don't know. I think they're still in the shop right now, at least. Other than Toronto, are any good rosters in NA? There's some, like, decent ones, but Toronto stands, like, heads and shoulders above everyone else. Alright, so that's my top 2 so far. Plus we have Vesta at 9, Falcons, WAC. Let's think about Genesis. We don't have to go in any particular order. Genesis. Genesis is a weird team. And I've always thought that way ever since I heard their roster be announced. I think Hydron's looking to be signed by, like, an org right now. Decay, it's so weird. I like Decay and Choi Se-Wan as a duo. Flexible, both crazy hard carry potential. They showed they can work well together in the Flash Ops tournament. Their team did pretty decently. But outside of that, I don't know how confident I am in Genesis. I'm certainly a fan of the Decay Choi DPS line. I think just because they're both flex DPS doesn't mean anything. They're both very flexible. They could both play Tracer. Decay can play Hit Scan. Not too worried about that. It's just outside of that where I question if they can keep up. I mean, Teru Maka as a backline is beyond strange. No, Decay's still fine. I think him and Choi are very capable, but I don't know how much they can do with this kind of backline. Like, in the preliminaries, it was fine. But, like, against the big boys, I don't know how this is going to do. Terra's going to be on main support, I think. Hi, Hitman. Like, you got, like, a Teru Lucio. Like, how far is they going to get you against, like, Falcons, let's say, for example? Or, like, against, like, WAC. Or, like, if he's going up against Violet. Like, that's tough. And, like, Maka, I mean, Florida picked him up for a reason. He definitely has potential as a player, and he might even have a good coming out tournament, so to speak, here. But the general strength of that backline doesn't compare to, like, the top teams, I feel like. I mean, not even some of the top teams. This, in general, feels like one of the weaker backlines on paper. Like, I'm taking Chorong and Shu over them. I'm taking Chio Fielder over them. I'm taking Violet Finn over them. I'm certainly taking Lee Jae Gon Vigilante over them. Bliss and Irony I'd even take over them, to be honest with you. And then Poker Face, they have Faith, Simple, and Iris. That's pretty good too. This feels like one of the weakest backlines on paper in Korea for this stage. What good tanks are there outside the top two that beat Kellen? That's a good question, which we can talk about. But yeah, I think this is kind of the Achilles heel for Genesis. I'm worried about how their backline holds up. Maybe they get a good meta for them, you never know. But on paper, don't love them. Tank line, I mean, it's like decent. You have like a solid tier for DPS, like a decent tier for your tank line, and then like below average on your backline. Kellen and Kalios, I mean, I don't know how much Kalios would play, to be honest, because Kellen's pretty flexible. I'm actually kind of excited to see what Kellen can do on a non-New York team. I like Kellen. I think he showed some good performances on New York, despite that team just being, like, mediocre. He's shown he can play a lot of different heroes at a relatively high level. For the players on Vesta Crew, yeah, they're all like contenders players who were able to make it as like a last chance qualifier. But yeah, I think Kellen is probably going to hold his own well. If his backline doesn't hold him back, that's a bit of a question mark. Like, I just saw that comment before in the chat saying like, how many tanks are truly better than Kellen in this tournament? But it may not matter if his backline can't hold up. Wasn't Terra really good on Hangzhou Season 5? Yeah, but now he's on main support, which is a completely different beast. But yeah, like, if you want my honest opinion, I think Kellen's probably one of the better tanks. I mean, okay, so outside of Smurf and Hanbin, like, certainly, and Mag, there's not that many tanks that I'd take over him. Maybe Bernard. I mean, like, it depends on the meta. I like Bernard. Bernard showed he's good. But I think Kellen's going to hold his own against most of these tanks if he gets good support from his backline. Terra played Brig when Ben Besh was on Ana. I guess that's a thing, yeah. I'm just not sure. Like, I have my doubts about this team, even though I think if they get the right meta, they could be kind of scary. Like, compared to all these other teams, like, I feel like they're below, or not below, I mean, they're above the lowest tier of teams. But I think they certainly are not strong enough to beat the top, so they're probably in the middle somewhere. Like a 6 or a 5 or a 4, probably. I don't know. Maybe for now I'll stick them at like 5 and then we'll adjust after. Stick Genesis at like 5. You know, like smack dab in the middle. So cross them off the list. Oh, those guys. FTG. FTG's got a pretty interesting team. I think they have a lot of components that work well together. Flora and Alfie were on Justice. Violet and Finn were on Shock together. Violet also played with Bernard. I think there's a lot to like about FTG. Coached by Yaki, 8th place. It's so funny that he's coaching. Good for him, though. So, I'm trying to think about it from the perspective of their ceiling. I think a lot of these players have the potential to be very, very good. I mean, we know what Violet can do. We just saw Bernard in the playoffs look really good. Alfie, at a lot of people's eyes, including my own, should have been a freaking MVP candidate in 2023 in OWL. Him and Flora are both solid players. They've shown they can work well together. I like that this team has a couple of carries. Any word on Sparkle? I have not seen anything. Even though I'm not like a huge Finn fan, him and Violet have shown they can literally lead a team to the grand finals. I like Violet's leadership. I think Finn, even just with a fresh start, maybe not under Krusty's coaching and be on the Shock, could be beneficial for him. Where's Skewed? I haven't seen him anywhere. Are there any Danes on? We'll get to it after Zombie Man. I think if I compare FTG to the rest of these rosters, their peak is probably either 2 or 3. They've got a good competitive DPS line. Maybe not a top tier back line, but like the tier below it, right? For sure. If not, you know, you could argue maybe around like the number 3. And I do like Belos Rhea. I think if he gets, or not Belos Rhea, I'm sorry. I mean Bernard. I'm sorry, chat. I do like Bernard. I think he showed he still has some gas left in the tank in OWL playoffs. Maybe a fire has been lit under him again. But Belos Rhea is like the one thing people have continued to talk about, which I think is fair. He hasn't exactly been amazing in OWL. He wasn't great on Fusion or Dynasty, just like okay. However, I think there are some metas, like, I mean, if they're not hard, if we're not stuck in like hard Ramatra and Belos Rhea can play ball and or Winston, that could be pretty good, especially ball. Belos Rhea can play ball well. Ball is proven to be pretty decent, so if they can get away with some ball maps here and there with him, that could be good. "2022 Mid-Season Madness run was legendary." Yeah, it's pretty sick. But like, that's the cool thing about having Bernard on the team, right? You're not forced into Belos Rhea. There's situations where they might be able to play Bernard instead. I don't know how his RAM is. I mean, maybe he can play RAM. I'm pretty confident in Bernard. He's been consistent most of his career. And I think the thing with Belos Rhea also is, aside from having Bernard to take off some of that pressure, is this is certainly the best backline that Belos Rhea's ever played with. I mean, like, he's played with just some okay ones in his career. Like, on Fusion, he had Aim God and Fix-Up. On Dynasty, it was a mess at their backline. I think that this is a bit of an upgrade that might make him play with more confidence. Individually, though, he may not be able to stand up to the obvious top-tier tanks, which kind of hinders their potential. Overall, though, FTG is a solid team, and they should definitely be on the cusp of making it out of here. I do like WAC maybe a bit more, though. Look at Flora's Liquipedia. What about it? Anyway, I'm going to lock FTG in at 3, I think. I think WAC has a bit of a higher ceiling. but not by much. I think that they could be comparable if the DPS from FTG can play really, really well. Which they certainly can. I have a lot of confidence in alexyOWL. I think most people do. Especially with, like, Tracer and how good she is right now, and the fact that he can just carry a team whenever he wants to, and now he's gonna have better support than he did on, like, a Washington. It's nice. alexyOWL, I think, will be happy knowing that he's playing alongside Violet. I think I'm going to lock FTG in at 3 for now, though. Next we have Yeti. Yeti's an interesting, like, dark horse team that could make upsets happen in the round robin, I feel like. I don't know how far... I haven't seen them play, really, though. I haven't really seen any scrims with Yeti, but... I think they're decent. I like Knife, I like Viper, I like Bliss, I like Irony. I mean, Donghak's not the worst. Pretty decent. There's a lot of people I feel like that have to really prove themselves so that they can punch up to the top tier guys, but I think Yeti's got some upside. Viper and Knife together is kind of like a dream. Because last year at OWL, they both had to carry like no tomorrow without getting any help. Now they have each other to lean on, which is cool. Both can play a mean Tracer. A lot of people forget that Viper, you know, before OWL was more of like a projectile guy than a Tracer guy. So I'm not too worried about him if like Knife were to play Tracer, let's say. And I think, can Knife play like hit scan a little bit? No, maybe not. I thought I've seen him play it before, somewhere. Some kind of contenders match that I watched. Maybe I'm wrong. I know that Viper is a Tracer Genji guy, though. That's right, Knife played Soj, thank you. I knew he played something. I distinctly remember him playing something like that. I don't remember how good he was, though, to be honest. Yeah, I am in agreement that I think Yeti's potential will greatly depend on the meta. Like, if we're going full on dive, this team's gonna be crazy. Like, if Ball ends up being good, if we, like, see dive in Korea even a little bit, that would be amazing for Yeti. Holy crap, man. Donghak is, you know, his signature hero is Ball, along as Winston, but, like, he's always been a known Ball player, and then you throw in two crazy Tracer players. Knife can... Or, I mean, Viper can also do the Genji and stuff. Echo's on the table. They can be pretty nasty. In, like, a fast-paced setup. What are your thoughts on Wolf over Avril? I'm very disappointed that there's no Avril. Very disappointed. Double Flex Wrecking Ball is God's blessing to Team Yeti. Oh yeah, I forgot. Lucio and Zen was being played. I mean, I don't know how much it's being played now. I mean, it really depends on the region. That's another thing. And a bunch of scrims I was seeing, it was like a lot of NA and EU, and I saw Moira Lucio a lot, but Korea typically does their own thing, so maybe there's room for Yeti to get away with the stuff they like playing to a certain degree. There will be times where this team struggles, especially since they're a team of 5. For the holes in their game, that'll be brutal if luck doesn't roll their way. Again, though, a lot of young players who I think have the upside to punch above their weight and prove themselves. Wouldn't that ball meta be best for WAC? It would be pretty nasty for them, for sure. Junpin ball goes kind of crazy, though. Kind of weird not seeing O2, yeah, for sure. I don't know, chat. I think there's a solid handful of teams I would definitely take over them. But I also think there's a couple of teams they could beat for sure. And there's a couple of teams they could possibly even upset. I don't know. I don't want to say they're number... I don't know. Do I want to say they're number 8? I don't know if I want to go that far. Maybe I'll place them like 7 for now. It's like 7 or 6. I'll just put him as a filler there for now, I think. There's question marks about this team, but I do like them. Who's next? Runaway. I low-key kind of dig Runaway. I think this team's kind of sick. Not just because this famous franchise is back, but I think there's a lot to like about them. Mag and Lee J gone are reunited. Mag is coming off a career year. We know what Lee J Gone can do, and if it's Lucio meta, you're set. He's gonna go crazy. Zest, I mean, he's been consistent the last couple of years in his career. Insanely good. Can definitely punch at the level of, like, the best DPS players, no doubt. That's kind of how I see it. They have, like, a good core here with these 3 guys. Jagon, superstar main support. Mag, the flexible tank. Can play, after what we saw in OWL, he can play most things well. If it's a ball meta, he'll do great in that. Can play Monkey. He's shown he can play Ram at least decently. If we go heavy off tank, I'd maybe be a little bit more worried about Mag, but generally I like his coverage. He's shown he can be that hyperflex kind of guy. Vigilante and PH are gonna... I guess I could just say Prophet, because Prophet's retired now, so I can just say Prophet. Prophet and Vigilante are like the interesting pieces. The young guys trying to prove themselves. I saw a scrim recently where Prophet was playing Echo, of all things, and he was actually kind of nasty. Bro low-key carried on Echo. Maybe he just needed a team like this to fulfill his potential, you know? I'm thinking, like, with less pressure on him to perform, on a team that maybe trusts him more, and a non-Sombra meta, you know, a meta that more so fits his style, that he could put in some work. I mean, we just saw in the, what's it called? The tournament from right before OWL ended, the APAC tournament, he was popping off. I could see him doing well on Runaway. I think I'm going to have slightly more confidence in him than, like, the average fan would. It's not to say that I think he'll dominate, but I think he could get the best of a lot of the guys that are around his level. Wasn't that scrim against Sin Priza? I mean, regardless, I didn't know the dude had an Echo. Kind of crazy. Well, the other characters playing the scrims you saw. I can actually pull it up. I think Reinforce was streaming some stuff. Hold on. I'm just going to turn on my light real quick, chat. Let me see if I can find it. Reinforces stream. Oh, here it is. Runaway versus SBG. What was being played in this scrim? They're playing Doom in this scrim, which is interesting, and Lucio Kiri. But yeah, like, Prophet was going kind of crazy on the Echo. I know it's just against SPG, but he did some pretty crazy stuff in this scrim. I don't know what Johnny's showing here. I thought he had, like, an actual VOD somewhere. Oh, here. Runaway versus SPG Open Qualify. How do you rank the San Diego Hunters? They're #1. Yeah, Prophet is hit scan, but he did pretty good. Also, again, you can see even in this region, they're doing like the Moira Lucio. It seems like Moira Lucio and like Kiri are all going to be pretty good from what I gather. It's interesting, like when the Korean teams play each other, they're always so committed to playing dive. But then that kind of like bites them when they play teams that have other styles. Like that other scrim I saw somewhere when, what's it called? Twisted Minds were playing Falcons. They forced Falcons into playing Ram and Falcons lost. It was just that one map, I don't know how the rest of the scrim went. Yeah, so they're just playing Doom completely. It's literally just Doom in this scrim. But then an NA, what's this? This is a EU scrim. Peps versus We Spit Fire. You see, they're doing the Ram, the Moira Lucio. It's a weird setup, like Ram, Moira Lucio, but then you're playing like Tracer and Genji. It's bizarre. Yeah, it seems like Moira Lucio is going to be one of the best backlines at the start, or like one of the commonly played. Looks like my ranked lobbies. Oh, there was one scrim. Oh, Ryan sucks. Ryan is trash. Hot take, I think EMA would be the best region at the start. I think EMA is going to be really good. When did he... I know he watched, somewhere. He watched, a scrim between We Spit Fire and Owl Spray Check. And like Kevster was absolutely dominating. I think he was just subbing in for Backbone, Natobi. Maybe Backbone couldn't make the scrim. Oh yeah, here's the waste bit. Where's... I think it was on, New Queen Street? Or no, maybe it's a different scrim I'm thinking of, but... Kevster, like, absolutely dominated. Oh, Reinforce is just going all over the place with these maps. It's gotta be clipped somewhere. Yeah, where's the clips? Where are the EMEA team rosters on Wikipedia? They have not been announced yet because they have to do the Swiss stage first. Blade. Kevster kills Landon. It's just a bunch of Kevster delete Sombra. Just like a bunch of Kevster going crazy. Yeah, March 1st, EMEA and NA will do their Swiss stage. And then we'll find out who's in the actual tournament. Don't mind his name being proper, by the way. That's Kevster. Can confirm this is Kevster. Forces Trance. Anyway. Where was I? Got off track. I'm sorry, chat. We're ranking Runaway, right. On paper, I do like Runaway. I think PH has something to prove. Like, I don't even have to say PH. I just say Prophet. God, say it. I think that Prophet has something to prove, but I'm willing to give him another chance on a good team like this. That's how I view it. And with Vigilante, it's like, he still hasn't gotten that chance. I've still been waiting for him to actually play on a team. We just have not gotten to witness it. At least in OWL. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. I think him and Lee J. Gunn could be good. Not like number 1 or number 2 backline, but I think they'll be competitive. Especially for like a Zen setup, I think Vigilante could be good. He deserves another chance. I think people are being a bit too hard on him because of what happened with Atlanta and like not playing, and then when he did play, randomly being bad. And then like on Washington, you know, he got traded. He was under 18 for a while. Just a bunch of unfortunate circumstances. And I forgot he played in the Flash Ops during the winter. He was on Isohan. His team got 3rd with, funny enough, a lot of other great players. I forgot they took O2 High School 5 maps. Yeah, I think Vigilante could still be good. I think he deserves another chance. I like Runaway. I think there's some good consistency. You got the Lee J. Gunn Mag connection, the Mag Zest connection. 2 young players trying to prove themselves. Well-rounded roster, can play a lot of different things. Not perfect meta-wise, but most teams aren't in this thing. So I think that Runaway is certainly top half. I think 4, compared to the rest of the teams I haven't ranked, they're probably 4th, right? Some might even argue they're like 3rd, but I'm going to say 4th. Because I'm taking them over Yeti. I'm taking them over Poker Face and Sinprissa and Vesta. Yeah, I'm going to lock in Runaway as a 4. Kind of a combo, Byron. What up, Brain? So that locks in our top 4. I'm not sold on Genesis 5 yet, but that's where we have them. Or even where Yeti is. The only things I know for sure is I like my top 4, and I like Vesta Crew at 9. These other teams, though, is kind of tough. Poker Face. I liked them, I'll say this, I liked them more before they got rid of Spectra. I'm really sad that Spectra left the team. I think, is Spectra playing somewhere else now? I think so, right? I'm not sure, but I'm disappointed that he's not on this team anymore because I love Spectra. Overall, though, I mean, you know, I almost just said Becky. What the heck? Poker Face have a lot of players on their team, and there's some things that I think are pretty likable about them. Particularly, it seems like their backline is a good strength of theirs. I like all these guys a lot. I like Faith, Simple, and Iris a lot. Faith, I think he proved himself on Vancouver. I think you can rely on him. He's probably one of the better main supports in this tourney setup, I feel like. Iris, he's been pretty good for a while now, and I'm actually excited to hopefully see Simple play. I heard rumblings from a bunch of places that he was going to be potentially signed to OWL, but things fell through. But just keep that in mind. He's gotten attention from OWL teams before. He seems like he's one of those up-and-coming guys. Like, he's been around the scene for a while. He's been consistent on a lot of different teams. Like, we're talking all the way back in, like, the 2020s, he was around doing things. But good flex support. In a double flex setup, I would love to see him and Iris play, but I'd love to see him log some play time in general. I like him. Support line gets a big thumbs up. The rest of the team, I mean, there's certain players I like. DPS line's, like, decent. Their peak probably isn't as high as a lot of other teams, but I don't hate any of these three guys. Becky, Proud, Finale. Proud in particular is like another one of those up-and-coming guys to keep an eye out for. Young player, 17, been good for a while. Solid resume, can play hit scan. I'm excited to watch Proud play. Even though I'm sad Spectra's gone, I am excited to watch him play. Becky and Finale, though, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, they do similar things. They're both just, like, okay players. Becky has shown flashes, like, back on the Valiant during the day, amongst some other things. Pretty solid Echo. Can play Tracer. He's alright. But then, like, Finale's kind of in the same boat. Like, their hero pools are very similar. It's going to be, like, Proud, then one of those two next to him, probably. Which, again, is fine, but I don't know if it's enough to punch up to the higher level, sadly. Although maybe Proud can prove me wrong and can do some crazy deadlifts, but I'm not putting money on that, sadly. Just a lot of good teams in this tournament. The tank line, though, is where I, like, don't know how to feel. Like, I'm not that confident. Not because I think they're bad players, but because I think there's just a lot of other notable tank players that you definitely take over them. Like, I don't know a lot about Peppy or Jasmine in particular. I've seen them play here and there. They're just like, okay, you know, you have a main and an off-tank type of deal. Well, no, they're both off-tanks. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said main. They both are more so off-tank guys, but... Chinese are not allowed to play for OWCS. Correct. They will not be playing, sadly. Really depressing. I'm trying to think. I remember Jasmine. I remember, like, watching his Diva, I think it was. He played for Dreamers, that's right. And then Peppy, the thing that always stood out was, I think, Sig. He had, like, some pop-offs here and there. But not a tank line to write home about. Not impressed. Yeah, no Shy, no Gushwei, no any of those guys, no. Comparatively, though, even though I don't... Okay, like, Poker Face are okay. I don't love them, but I think they're probably better than, like, a couple of teams minimum. Certainly Vestiker they're better than, and I'd make an argument they're probably better than Sin Priza as well, at the least. I think they have the potential to be better than, like, a Yeti as well, but I think Yeti has a higher ceiling and players I just like more. Plus, I believe Yeti actually beat Poker Face in the group elimination thing that sent Poker Face down to the last chance qualifier. Yeah, APAC is starting in, like, 8 hours. Japan. Korea starts on March 1st. Yeah, I slightly prefer Yeti. I think Poker Face is a lot more versatile. I think there's... Oh, that's something I have to think about. I have to think about this carefully. Because... It really depends on meta and if it'll change. I'd have to assume that the meta's staying where it is now, right? I feel like it's probably going to be stable. I don't think any random patch is going to come through, at least for now. And just for the fact that Yeti already beat them, technically, I think I'm probably going to put them below Yeti. And then I think that means I'm going to move Yeti up. I think what I'm going to do is move Yeti to 6. And then we're going to put Poker Face at 7. Only because it seems like right now in the current meta, Yeti's the better team because they beat Poker Face. So I have to find the bracket. I think it's here. Oh, wait, what's this? No, this is Pacific. No, the wrong one. 3 is here. Sounds good, Head Spinner. Thanks for hanging out. Looking at something. Okay. But Yeti and Poker Face ended up in the same group, and I believe Yeti beat them, which is why I'm putting Yeti above them. It seems like they're the better team, unless they got lucky somehow. So I'll do Yeti at 6 and Poker Face 7 for now. Although I definitely could see a world where Poker Face overlaps them. I think they're very close on paper. I am tempted to put Poker Face above them, but for the simple fact that we have literally seen Yeti win over them, I'm going to put Yeti at 6. And then that means at number 8, we are going to put SBG. I like that placement for them. Not anything special, but we've seen this team play together before. They ain't bad. Got our guy Meal Guru, the GOAT. In a ball meta, he could be pretty sick. I like Aid. I'm an Aid fan. I think he could do some damage. Yeah, SPG doesn't really have that star player. Like, I think they're like the fun team to root for because they have like Meal Guru and 2U and stuff, but they're just okay. It's like not the worst tank line, but I don't know how good Meal Guru is gonna do outside of like a ball. 2U can play Ram, I guess. Hyunjae was like okay on Infernal. You know, him and Lee Soo-min will be okay, but comparatively, they're weaker than just a lot of teams, like at every place. DPS line is like below average. Support line's below average. Tank line definitely below average as well. Don't want to be mean, but Vile's team is kind of lacking to be playing with the GOAT. Well, I mean, it was his choice. You could say what you want, but he wanted to play with these guys, so there we go. Will this be a YouTube video? It'll be up on my channel just as a VOD. You can check out the stream VOD at any time you'd like. I'm not going to convert it into its own video. It won't be private or anything. You can just watch it anytime. To answer a quick text chat, hold on. I question Bell's Raby on FTG, as do a lot of people, to be fair. You're not the only one. But yeah, overall, I think SPG will just be like a fun underdog. Maybe they'll get like one upset in, but aside from like Synergy, they don't have enough to compete. So I'm happy placing them at 8. Where I'm interested to see how things goes like here. Like 4 through my, well, I guess I could even say like 3 through. I think there could be a lot of variance here. Like maybe Runaway could go up to 3. Maybe we could see Genesis go up or down. I think Poker Face could even jump above Yeti. There's... outside of, like, the very top and bottom, there's going to be a lot of questions that have to be answered. This is very rough, but this is kind of my thought process, I think, chat. What happened to Bumper and Hoxel's team? They got eliminated. Also, prayers out to our boy Jaehong. I saw that he got in, like, some kind of accident, and he was in the hospital, but he's okay. Thank God. You see Has Been here, they lost. They got wrecked by Unemployer, which is now Genesis. Absolutely destroyed. And then they lost in the last chance qualifier, unfortunately. That's my overview of Korea, though, chat. A few teams I think I'm so-so on, could go in either direction. But then there's, like, probably, like, 4 teams that I'm pretty set on in terms of how I think they'll do for sure. I definitely think Falcons are gonna win this one. I don't know how many teams are really gonna give them a good fight. I guess we'll see. But this team just seems really, really ridiculous. What's the tournament they had to play to get a spot? It was like an open tournament thing. I can try and find it. There was another post that was made somewhere. Yeah, a group stage. That's what it was. Like they did like a preliminary, kind of like what you'd see with the Swiss, but like a little different. And then everyone got put into groups after that. And then the top teams moved on and so forth until we got where we are now. Hottie v Bumper on Ryan, who do you got? I got Hottie, personally. I'm locking it in. That is my very rough idea of how I think Korea plays out in terms of strength. And if we're going off of the rules, I guess it's like a little prediction. The top 4 advance to the seeding decider matches. So for me, that would be these 4 that get to the seeding decider matches. And then these 4 get in the last chance, and Vesta Crew just get eliminated, and that's the end of their run. And then after last chance, the top 2 from that move on. So, you know, 2 of these guys would get in. And then they play with these 4 in the main tournament, which is here. And that'll be played at around the end of March. Yeah. Where are all the Korean hitscan players? I don't know, man. Maybe playing different games in different regions, I guess, as well. Alright. I think I'm going to skip over Japan and Pacific because, honestly, I don't know any of these players. I don't recognize any of these guys outside of, like, Varel. There's not much There's, like, a couple of Korean stragglers from, you know, time to time here, it would seem. I don't know these guys. And Pacific, probably the same deal. Oh, Honeypot's competing. Cool. Adam, our boy Adam. Yeah, I don't really know. I recognize a few names, but I don't really know how they'd even compare to Korea, if at all, so doesn't really matter that much. Yo, what up, mate? These guys don't stand a chance against San Diego Hunters. True. All right, I think we can move on from Asia. Let's do a little bit of EMEA, because I definitely think EMEA is way more interesting than NA. So, well, I guess EMCA rosters, because, like, I don't even know who else is competing outside of a couple of select teams still, to be honest. You guys will have to help me out if you recognize any teams I don't name. So, guess I will... I guess we should start Twisted Minds, right? I think for a lot of people, they're going to be top tier for sure. Twisted Minds. A lot of people might say that on paper, there's some teams that are better, which I think is fair. However, in general, they've been dominating for a long time now. A bunch of guys that are on the World Cup team. I mean, like, they've been doing nothing but winning. Just everywhere. Beating people to the ground. Saudi E-League, OWL, or not OWL, excuse me, Contenders, World Cup. Particularly, what you have to love about this team is Courts and KSA, I feel like. Those are like the standout awesome players for me. Courts is like the next big thing, right? This guy is so good. He was so great in the World Cup, and he'll continue to be excellent during the EMEA qualifiers and beyond. I love me some Courts. This guy is insane. And he's 19. He's a bit older than I thought, but yeah. This guy is a winner. Our streamer matches probably big. I think with a superstar DPS like this, they're going to be able to compete against some of those top teams. Lipta and Yubi are also pretty decent, right? I mean, the thing with Twisted Minds is, like, they're really good and they've been winning a lot, but I think it will depend on the meta for sure with them. Because, like, if they're in, like, a dive, let's say, I wouldn't be that confident. But right now, especially with what I've seen from scrims, it feels like Ram, Moira Lucio is good, which I think is perfect for them. KSA is great at Ram. I know we all recognize him for the SIG, but he can play Ramatra very, very well. Yeah, Slay's flex support, right? Yeah. Calyx has been mid for 6 years, somehow still around. Yeah, crazy. Although I will say, at least having him in a Lucio setup makes it a bit better, because that's like one hero he's at least okay on. Not great, but okay. Moira Lucio makes it so you don't have to worry about the back line as much, I feel like. So if the meta stays where it is now, like based on what I've seen in scrims, Twisted Minds should be able to go somewhat far. But in the result that like Dive ends up somehow coming around, I'd be very concerned about these guys. Honestly, any meta, and honestly, it goes beyond Dive. Any meta where the backline has to, like, put in more work, I'd be a bit scared. Like, we've seen them do well in, like, Saudi E-League, but how would they do against a lot of these other teams? I'm not sure. Like, I think we've seen them play, like, BAP and Lucio before a lot, like, even in Contenders. Like, they're okay. And, even though there are a lot of scary teams, this isn't the same level of competition as, like, OWL, so I think it's a lot more likely they can get by with this kind of backline and get far, just because they have that winning DNA right now. They've been winning a lot. You know, they're the hot team. Saudi, they're on the rise. Their players are some of the best in the world right now, and I think it'll continue to be that way. They've been grinding hard. They beat, like I was just saying before, if you missed it, they beat Falcons in a scrim that got leaked. It was one specific map, but they showed they can compete with Falcons, which is a great sign for them. Because Courts is just nasty, man. Courts and KSA are nasty. They've got the synergy. I think they're learning what it takes to win. Saudi is a region just continuing to rise higher and higher. They're reaching the top of the mountain, so to speak. And I think they can compete with just about anybody. They've shown us in the World Cup amongst some other things recently. So even though there's concerns about them, I think we should still feel pretty confident in Twisted Minds to do well in EMEA at the bare minimum. Commander X did a great job listing the EMEA rosters in his last video. Okay, I'll use that as a resource once I get through the teams that come to mind. That's a good idea. I think Twisted Minds could be the best team in EMEA, but it will depend. Just because Saudi has always found a way to be winning lately, I think you can't count them out. But on paper, I think there could be teams that are better for sure. One of which has to be OWL Spray Check. This team is pretty sick because they have Kevster. I like the fact that they have Vestola as well. Vestola, these last few months, he's literally coming off like the best Overwatch of his career. Dude has been playing like a madman, and he's good on Ram. We've seen it. Him and Kev is going to be kind of nasty. Ghost and Masa is like, it's fine. It's kind of, that's part of why I'm almost not that worried about Twisted Minds when they have to play backlines like this. It's something they could maybe get away with. Ghost and Masa's fine, though. I think they'll be okay. Masa's a vet, retired, but still a vet. And I've seen Ghost play in a lot of teams. He's alright. Definitely the weak point of the team, but they have a lot of strengths to make up for it. Probably won't see Cloudy play much. I mean, he's probably more of like, he'll probably help on like the coaching end of things. But Vestola's nuts. Gumba said Crimzo will play at times. Is that so? Damn. Well, if that's true, that makes me a bit more confident in their backline. Even if he is on ping. Yeah, DPS line though. Thinking about that. They have Kev, the best DPS in EU. So that's a start. Kai had a bit of a fall off on Glads, but I mean, he still is Kai. He can still be decent. And what I like is they have Sauna as well, which makes me a bit less worried about having to always rely on Kai. Sauna has also started to peak with some of the recent games we've seen out of him, especially looking at like World Cup and stuff. I like that they have Sauna as the reassurance policy. I think Kev, Kai, Sauna is a solid DPS rotation. Might be the best in EMEA, to be honest. Yeah, Ghost is pretty good at BAP, but it seems like a lot of Moira Lucio is going to be played. We'll see how that goes. As long as you let Kevster cook on Tracer, which it seems like they're able to do right now, they'll be doing just fine. Kev cooking on that Tracer. Vestola continuing his rise to dominance. I am a big fan of OWL Spray Check, and they are easily one of the best teams in EMEA. Just write it down. I'm not putting EMEA in a power ranking, so to speak, because I don't know all the teams, at least not right now. So OWL Spray Check. Kev needs to be on a dive hero only. But that's the cool thing, right? That's something they can do, but like if they really want him to carry, which Yushoni can do on hit scan and like Soj, at least you have Sauna there if you still want to play Tracer, which I think is pretty ideal for them. That's why I really love that Sauna's on this team. It's such a nice reassurance for them. Just that extra layer of versatility. Yeah, OWL Spray Check, they're going to be one of the best. What's the meta DPS? I mean, we're seeing a lot of different things depending on region. But it seems like Tracer's pretty damn good. You know, we're seeing some Genji be played. We're seeing some... I think Soj still gets played. Sometimes. Trying to look up clips. I'm pretty confident we'll see Tracer, though. Echo's even being played sometimes, so we'll see what happens. We will see. Gumba said they haven't integrated Sonya yet because they only want to play Kev right now, which is fair, but later down the line, something to think about. Hi, Tate. Okay, so that's Twisted Minds, Owl Spray Check. I mean, those two teams are crazy. The next one that immediately comes to mind in terms of prominence, it's got to be We Spitfire. The London Spitfire remake with Funny Astro. I'm doing good in Materasu. Just from like a synergy standpoint and knowing past accomplishments, they'll be one of the best. But I am curious to see how they're going to hold up in like this Ram setup, because Ryan just sucks right now. I do have questions there, but at the same time, I do have confidence. I don't think people give Sparker enough credit for his other heroes. He can play Tracer. Like, I remember back in the day when I was watching Sparker highlights when he was about to join OWL, his Tracer stood out to me. No way they can get away with Ryan again, right? I don't think so. I don't think this time it's going to be nearly as good for them. Ryan just seems very, very, very bad. But I mean, hey, if Hottie really grinds, he could be fine on other things, right? Surely. Do anything on Shockwave? Potentially. I don't know. Funny Astro Landon is a very sick backline, yeah. I mean, it's literally just London's backline, but immensely better because they replaced Admiral with Funny Astro. Like, that's just, like, the weakness of London before they just replaced. Any sort of Lucio setup, it's gonna be fun, man. Funny Astro's gonna go crazy on this team. And Landon, I mean, we know what this guy can do, man. It's gonna be disappointing if we have to just watch him play Moira, but give him a chance to cook on other things. I'm in love with this backline. I think on paper, as you guys are saying, it definitely clears any other EMEA backline on paper. To insane players. And then, I mean, again, the rest is just London Spitfire. We've seen it before. Even if we're not exactly the most confident in how they do in certain metas, just knowing the strength and the synergy and the coaching, they're going to be in that race to be in the top, to potentially have a shot of making Sweden as well as Dallas, those two big tournaments. They'll be in the running. Specific meta might, specific metas, I should say, could screw them, but I like it. I dig it. It doesn't matter as much since they're not an OWL, in my honest opinion. At least not until, like, the big leagues, until they face the tippity-top teams. And We Spitfire. Another notable EMEA roster. Just type it. Screw it, man. When does it start? It depends on what you mean. If you mean Asia, Japan starts tomorrow, Pacific starting up this week, and then Korea starts on March 1st. NA and EMEA, they're going to start their Swiss stage on March 1st. And that's not going to have an official broadcast, but I'm sure people might stream their POVs, I'd assume. Unless it's not allowed. I should think they're in the top 3. Yeah, this team's solid. There's certain things I'd like to see how they do. I mean, there's the obvious of, like, Hottie in, like, a non-Rhine setup. There's the idea of not being able to play May, Sim Bastion, but I think we got to give these guys a bit more credit than what they deserve in this kind of situation. Because they're still good players, you feel me? I'm confident they will be competing near the top. There's no doubt. It's cool that they got Christopher coaching. Like, Owl Spray Check has Gunba and Crimzo and all these guys, which is sick. I love it, man. I love it. EMEA's got some sick teams. What was the other team? Oh, ROC Esports. This is like the other big team that comes to mind that should be competing in EMEA. They got Checkmate, Izayaki, and Rojo, who is a guy, a name that you need to look out for, chat. This guy is insane. There's no picture, but this guy, I mean, Quartz is like the #1 DPS prospect out of Saudi, but this guy's the #2. Rojo is insanely skilled. One person was telling me to look out for this guy. Fell in love watching him in the Saudi E-League. He was going toe-to-toe with Twisted Minds. This guy's absolutely nuts. I think he's going to turn a lot of heads in EMEA. He's going to have some nasty games. Yeah, this team is weird, though, I will admit. On paper, Rojo, Izzy, and Checkmate is cool. But it is going to be weird having 3 Saudis and 2 Koreans. Apparently, at the moment, EA is better than NA. Yeah, I agree. EU is definitely better. 100%. What was I going to say? Communication will be weird, but like this setup worked for them in Saudi E-League. I mean, they took 2 maps off Twisted Minds. They didn't have Izayaki, to be fair, but like the same premise. I think if they get it together, that's what I should be saying. If they get it together and they can figure it out synergy-wise and play at max potential, this team could be in the running to be like top 4 EMEA, I feel like. So they've got a good foundation here. I've even seen TVNT have some good plays. I mean, it's going to be meta-dependent for a guy like him, but there's good playmakers here outside of Checkmate and Izayaki, which is important. Checkmate brings the versatility, the consistency. Rojo's got the hit scan pop-off. Izzy, you know, well-established flex support. Not too shabby. I don't know if I see them punching up to the weight of the other teams we brought up, like Twisted Minds, Owl Spray Check, and We Spit Fire. But in the right situation, you never know, I guess. I doubt it, but I think they're close behind in terms of like the tiers. Yeah, they're an underdog to watch out for in terms of competing with the top, like, well-established teams. They'll be good, don't get me wrong, they'll be good, but will they be good enough? Those are like the 4 big ones that jump out of me. Is there any other ones that I'm missing that are like significant, chat? Like big EMEA teams? I know Peps is competing. There's Peps. I think Ex Oblivione as well, but like they're just decent, right? They're definitely a tier below. Hang on, I gotta look up Commander X's Twitch, because he's been streaming his team's scrims like consistently. Well, not his team, but We Spit Fire's team, which, I mean, essentially it's like his team, you know? He's a part of the team. We Spit Fire versus Peps. Here's Ex Oblivione. Here we go. There we go. That's Ex Oblivione's roster. Cookie, Chase Torch, Cloud, Canale, and Crispy. Yeah, Commander X, I'm glad he's appeared on the scene. His content's great, you know, Uncoachable's great. Glad he's here. You know, this team definitely isn't, like, top tier, but I like him. It's not bad. decent backline, decent DPS line. It's all just okay. Someone called Crispy, gotta root for them. All right, so Big is a Ex Oblivione fan. Got it. Yeah, I like Canale. He's a good support. I watched Cookie play. Where was it that I watched him play? Oh, is in what's it called? Flash Ops, right? Yeah. And then Cloud. Where was Cloud? Was Cloud on the World Cup team? No. But he played in Flash. I remember watching him, and he was like really good at, what was it, May or something like that. I remember he had some good pop-offs, and they like subbed him out. Cookie top 3 hit scan EU, in my opinion. Oh yeah, I remember Cookie like got subbed in as well. Yeah, it's coming back to me. I remember watching him play some good hit scan maps here and there as well. Just write them down. I'm not putting this in any order, chat. It's just more so like, it's helpful for me to know who's competing. So, we got X. So, Peps as well, and Peps is just the same as always, where they're just there. They're never going to be the best, but they're never going to be the worst either. I believe he had, 2, where is it? Peps. Excellent, very good. Yeah, I saw that. They played well in scrims. Peps is just like the same team always. Ben Best, Naga, FD God, they're always on this team. Always. They got Hybrid, who I have to admit has been playing better since like I saw him in OWL. Ronus, it's like just okay. I like a lot of their players, but they're not the top level that you'd hope. Sadly. Write down. Oh, I wrote it down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What other significant teams am I missing? Should I like pull up the Faceit page maybe? Oh, I know that the Commander X. So it was the Commander X YouTube video. Roster Mania Europe. Here we go. Got existing teams. Got all those. There's, oh yeah, they're competing. Chia. And they're like the same team as always, right? Yeah, nope, they're basically like the same as they always are. This is the, oh yeah, I know. Oh yeah, they have the Junkrat player, right? Is this the Commander X co-stream hour? No, it's mostly just to help with EMEA rosters and stuff. Who's the Junkrat? Is it Kaya that's the Junkrat player? Yeah. Dude like plays like exclusively Junkrat and somehow makes it work. Honestly, this team is hilarious. I love that they play Junkrat. It's so funny. Oh yeah, Necro is. What a bizarre team that somehow always manages to play well. Like, they got 4th in the Holiday Showdown, which is so funny to me. Have all written down. Cool. Some other teams from Saudi E-League. Oh yeah, like this is all... Is this it? That's all he has. Okay, so we're updated there. Let's look at Saudi E-League, shall we? Got Twisted Minds and ROC. I mean, none of these other teams really stand out. I see a couple names that are, like, cool, but, like, we know that Kanale and Cloud are on a team already. Oh god, Goku. I'm getting flashbacks to when Merit and someone had to carry him. Oh my god. I remember I thought Goku could have been decent, and then he just played Echo and did nothing. Sag. We know Naga's on Peps. Yeah, there's not much here. Doesn't look like we have much. Sadly. Oh yeah, Saudi E-League's been going on. I forgot about that. I considered covering it in like a video, but it just didn't seem worth it. Because like the last Saudi E-League was way cooler because there were a bunch of like other players from different countries that joined that are like of significance. And I feel bad, like Jimmy was supposed to compete, but then something came up, which sucks. Oh well. What other big names am I missing, chat? Is there like anything huge from EMEA? Maybe I should go on the Faceit website. No Chinese players, no. OWCS. Tournaments, here we go. EMEA. Oh, by the way, chat, I'm competing in EMEA with my friends. We're gonna suck, and it's mostly for memes, but I'm playing. Just for funsies. And we can get killed by Kevster a million times. Participants, here we go. Oh, Warwick, that's Cager's team, right? Yeah, Cager. Yeah, I'm playing EMEA with my friends because a lot of them happen to be from EU. It's my YouTube mods, I should say, as well. Bakes and Chatty's on the team. Oh, we'll be very bad, by the way. We've barely practiced, and none of us are experts to begin with, so it's mostly for the memes. I think I'm probably going to stream it, though. Yeah. Bacon and I will play as non-residents. We saw Team Peps. Oh, they're coached by Feifei. Cool. Five-player. A lot of these teams aren't even... A lot of these teams aren't even teams. They just have, like, one player. Yeah, 2-minute delay. Got you. Like, none of these teams really... I'll be here all day looking through these extra blocks, and I don't recognize any of those names. Oh, Sheer Cold! Is this, like, actually Sheer Cold, though, or is this just, like... Probably, right? I mean, surely. I don't recognize any of these players, but maybe it's actually them. Is there an NKZ? There is an NKZ. Okay. So Sheer Cold's competing. There you go. That's them. So we got a Sheer Cold appearance as well. Blood Moon, Monk S. Look at Super Shy. I mean, I don't recognize any of these players. Are they like... Need to put my team on the list? I don't think I will. God, they need to have like some kind of filter here, because a lot of these aren't even actual teams. It's 1 or 2 players. What is this? The team name is San Diego Hunters. I know you're far past it by now. What are your thoughts on Krusty, Junk, and 9K teaming up again? I love it. Dusty. Interesting name. Help me out here, chat. A team of bronzes. Nice. Are there any other significant players you can think of that I haven't put on this list yet that have a team that you know of that I may have missed? Like, I'm trying to think of random, like, EU players that are relevant. Like, Shockwave, for example. You know, like, people like that. Is there anything I am missing by chance? Oh yeah, so I mean, technically, a PSA, I didn't even think about it. This week on Friday, the matches start, so I'll probably be streaming our matches. You can watch me and my team absolutely dominate, Capo. Ugh, there's so many teams that have no players on them. Why is it like this? Who thought this was a good idea? Ex-Florida Mayhem Manitin is competing? Is that so? That's sick. Oh wait, I'm such an idiot. Couldn't I do it that way? Couldn't I like look up players and then maybe they can show up? Like... Can I like type in Manitin and see if it comes up? Oh, which one though? Oh boy. Luminosity. Oh, Mineral. Oh yeah, this has to be him. I mean, I just hope we can win, like, a map, to be honest. I mean, I'm not expecting to win any games, because we're probably going to be the least practiced team of any team in the Swiss stage, but you know what? We'll see what happens. You never know. Maybe we'll get an automatic win by technicality because of a DQ. I guess that's one way to look at it, chat. What if I just start, like, typing in random player names? Okay, maybe Shockwave is a bad idea. Oh my god. If it's anything like Collegiate Swiss, there will be worse teams. I sure hope so. It'd be cool to win like one game. Okay, yeah, typing in Shockwave was a horrible idea. I just even want, if I even win one game, I'll be happy. I will pop off on stream and yell very loud. Are there any Spanish players? Canale's playing. Canale's on a team. The other person I'm thinking of on a team? What's his name? Gala. Is Gala playing by chance? Wonder. Gala. Never mind. Yeah, this is complicated. Yeah, I probably should look at the flag. I didn't even see the Spanish flag on here. I don't know why I'm looking at this. Probably not here. Oh, wait, I did not look at it this way. Dear Lord. All these people are named Gala, huh? And it happens that none of them have the Spanish flag. That's funny. You can filter by country on here too? Is that a thing? You can. I didn't even see that. Is there a Spain? Oh my god. No results found. I don't know, chat. This might be the only, like... This might be, like, the list of the most significant teams we have. Maybe, like, looking at, like, contenders might be a good idea. Oh, yeah, Triple Esports is a thing. I wonder if they're competing. Oh, no, no. What is this? Let's try that again. Triple Esports. No. Is ball meta in Asia? Some teams have been practicing with it, but there's a lot of variance going on. Some people are trying Doom, some people are playing Ramatra. There's a lot of stuff going on. Checked off, oh yeah. Yeah, I think that might be it, chat. Krondop, maybe? Is he competing? I don't know. It's so hard to tell. I don't see Winton. Yeah, no. I want to see Ball Tracer with Mag and Zest. Yeah, that'll be sick. I just feel there's an exploit to let people buy Overwatch 1 skins. I would love that. Yeah, no, we definitely need to play Ram Fake for sure. So I'd say this is like a decent list of like relevant teams. Like what there's the 9 in Korea that are competing in the tourney. We have like 8 here, like 8 teams that could be in the running. Again, there's probably some others I'm missing. But I haven't seen a lot of people come out and announce anything. Like if I... For example, if I just like search up Shockwave, I don't see him talking about being on a team or anything. Are any other big EU players that I'm not thinking of, chat? Like, I feel like we've covered the baseline of like goated EU players plus some other like stragglers. So So we're all patiently waiting for the 1st of March. Unless you like to watch Japan, then you could do that. They start like tonight. Where's Masa playing? He's playing on Owl Spray Check. With Cloudy and Kevster and Kai and those dudes. Chipson? No, he's not competing. I think we're just going to move on to NA, which I don't really have much to talk about. Because I don't know of that many teams that are, like, announced there. It's been oddly quiet in NA in terms of the big boy teams. The obvious one's Toronto. We got Toronto Defiant. We know them. They're good. Could be one of the best. Maybe not. We'll see. But can't go wrong with this squad. It is good. Team Kaluj, Sam Seeker, UV Liar. Yeah, I know about them as well, but they don't have like an official name yet. Oddly. But I mean, this is going to be the favorite out of NA as it currently stands. I don't think there's any doubt about that. How they'll do on like the global stage is maybe a bit of a different convo to have, but they've got good pieces. If this team ends up being mid, I would be very upset at them. Like, I've been disappointed in Toronto in the past, but this would take the cake with this kind of team. If they find a way to be mid with this team, then it's done. What was the Owl Player Parents team? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They had like Punk's dad, I think, and Rack Attack's mom, and like some other people. But memes aside, mid-fight memes aside. Oh wait. Cam's block, my bad. Sorry about that. I forgot. I got you. Anyway. Sorry about that. Defiant, we know them. They're one of, like, the earliest teams to be announced. Merit, Sugar-Free, Someone, Vega, RuPaul. Just a solid core. Not much that can go wrong with this team. I mean, especially when you have Merit, Someone, and RuPaul as the core. Just one Owl. Insane God gamers. I mean, just having Someone alone is, like, so advantageous for them. He's, like, the best tank in the entire world. And he can play anything under the sun and play it well. Like, there's not a single meta where I won't be confident in Toronto to lead the way on the front line because of him. Kind of ridiculous that they have him. RuPaul, arguably the best flex support NA, well, in the West even, I guess I should say. Depends on the meta. Obviously, Bappy's insane, but, like, in general, RuPaul is very proven. He's good. Merit, we know what he can do, especially in a final situation. Dude is a god. Sugar-Free I love, and I think on a good team like this, he'll go crazy. And then Vega, who I also like. He should have been an Owl last year, but he got cucked because of some rule booking. I like him, though. I think he's one of the better support players in the West. I think him and RuPaul will be sick. We saw them play on Timeless. They did good. This team's solid. They've got top players at, like, most positions. It's good. Just a solid, simple 5-man team, but I think it gets the job done. They'll probably win NA, unless they choke massively. With this kind of team, they should be winning. Some metas, I don't know if they'll be, like, necessarily world champion contenders. But, in general, I like them. Who plays Tracer on Toronto? It depends on what else you're playing with it. Honestly. Depends on what the needs are. I would generally prefer to have Sugar Free on the Tracer, but I've seen Merit play Tracer. He's not bad. He's not like championship level good on Tracer, but he's not bad. He's like fine. Good, you could argue. I could see either of them playing Tracer decently. I just don't know if it'll be enough if she remains meta against the highest level competition possible. Rack attacking a team? I believe so. Don't have much bad to say about Toronto from the standpoint of NA. Not worried about tank with them. The Lucio's strong right now. Vega can play Lucio. RuPaul's good on most flex supports. Sugar Free's flexible. If Merrick can play Hitscan, he's gonna go crazy. We'll see. If this team's mid, I will cry, but they're solid and they should be one of the best on paper, unless the meta really destroys them. Will Whisper Susanoo play? I would assume Wisp would play, right? I don't see why they wouldn't. Oh wait, but I don't know what's going on. What's his face? Liar's gonna be on Kaluge's team and Hydron's team. I mean, if I was making an assumption, some kind of Wisp roster will probably be there. It just seems like a natural at this point. They're almost always in the thick of it in these NA competitions. And I think they're underrated if they do play. I'm a big Rocket and Chopper fan. I love those guys. I think they're good DPS. I'll try Wisp question mark because I don't know if they're actually playing. Luge, Hydron, Liar, wait, is it Seeker that's on the team too? Oh, Sam. Oh, I know there's no Hydron on the team, I'm sorry. Team Kaluge, Seeker, UV, Liar, Sam. This team could be pretty good. I mean, not much to complain about. Like, okay backline. Oh, did Wisp disband? Did they? Maybe I missed it. Players apparently got picked up by a different org or something like that. Noted. I will cross that out for now. What do we think of a Kaluge, Seeker, UV, Liar, Sam team? I don't think they're as good as Toronto. But I could see them being the number 2. I mean, I like that they have Seeker. I mean, Hydron's like around the same level, but I love Seeker. I think he's just a better carry in the heat of the moment a lot of the times. The team will either pound or surrender to burnout. Potentially. I like that Sam's on this team, honestly. I was disappointed when Toronto had to let go of him. I think he has something left in the tank to prove, and he's going to play better than people think. UV, I mean, top level NA flex support. I can appreciate this team. I think they kind of suffer from the same problems as always, though, where it feels like they're not quite good enough. They still only have the one tank. I wonder who the leader of the team is going to be as well. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like they upgraded anywhere compared to like other iterations of like American Tornado. It's just the same old where they'll be good, but you're not expecting them to be a world beater. RuPaul admitted he would have played with Seeker if they weren't going to Toronto. I mean, yeah. They played together on Timeless. Does Rift have a team? I'm not familiar with who Rift? Question mark? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. Oh yeah, they have what is it? Sten or whatever you pronounce it. I heard they have been going kind of crazy. Toronto's half Mayhem and half Timeless Flash Ops, yeah. There haven't been a lot of NA teams that have gotten announced. It's like really hard to do research on NA right now. That's something that might need to clear up more after the Swiss stage, to be honest with you. I might need to leave NA how it is, because I'm pretty in the dark with some of the teams that are being played. Does anyone in chat have any idea, or no, we all in the dark? I mean, again, I could look on Faceit, but I don't know, man. Now that I think about it, there's probably a lot of collegiate teams. Oh, that's who... I remember now. There was... I gotta go back to Reinforce's stream. He was watching a scrim with Dante's team. Was it? Pro scrim stream. Was it this one that I was watching? Ah, this was it. Maryville, right. They might be competing. Potentially. You got a team with like Wub, Infected, and Renko. This might be another collegiate team. Collegiate's not even something I was considering. There's a lot of teams that might compete. Collegiate. I don't even know how I'd look that up. Isn't Sam a Maryville member? No, he plays with Winthrop University. Oh, this was the team we were just talking about. This is the Winthrop team. I'm just gonna call them Winthrop University instead. Overwatch Collegiate. Called LFO on Faceit. LFO. Alright, maybe like, Crimzo can coach me. He could probably be a player on another team. Why not? There's a whole lot of I don't know in NA, to be honest with you, chat. Yeah, so maybe there's a chance we could see like Oh, that's the wrong Dante. I apologize, other Dante. Maybe Maryville could compete. Did Mirror come in this game? Wait, is this different players all of a sudden? I was Mirror playing. Interesting. Lotion, that's an insane name. That's wild. That is unhinged. I don't think Sparkle has a team, no. Sorry. Yeah, how I see it is it's like a couple of the top NA people that you'd like recognize. I mean, Hawk, his team hasn't even been announced yet. I don't know where he's going, if anywhere. And then we'll see like a bunch of collegiate teams with them. That would be my guess. Yeah. I don't know, chat. I do not know. NA seems like the mystery region. There's been a... Oh, wait, I just saw it. There it was. Oh, wait, no. That was the team that you're talking about, Fake. I found them. Was Crimzo on a team, though? I don't remember. Or was he just coaching? Maybe he's actually just coaching. Honestly. I don't know, Bake. That's a good question. Yeah, NA seems like a pretty big ghost town, Chad. I'm not gonna lie to you. EMEA in Korea is where it's at. Are there any other, like, good, like, solid collegiate teams? So many university ofs. I don't recognize any of these, man. GG. Oh, I saw there was like one team that I think separated that were together. I think they had like Cowman and like a couple guys. Oh yeah, thank you, Joshua. That's who I was thinking of. The team with PGE, Opener, and Top Dragon. Didn't something happen to them, though? I thought something happened. I saw them playing. Reinforce was freaking out because PGE's kind of insane at the video game. Oh yeah, this is the team. Some of these people like left, I thought, though. I could have sworn like something just happened recently. Oh yeah, this is a thing. Pirates in Pajamas are on the list. These DPS went to Gunba's team. Oh yeah, he has an NA team as well, doesn't he? I should look up Gunba. I saw it somewhere. I know I saw it somewhere. I'm lost. Goon Lagoon, that's funny. Tom made a post about PGE team, but deleted the tweet. Gotcha. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's... Yeah. I think that was the thing. It's gone now, though. Alright. Well, I've come to the conclusion that NA is a ghost town outside of, like, a couple teams. That is my final conclusion. I will, I guess, learn more about them after Swiss stage ends. So, NA is going to be, like, a to be continued, I think. Continued. Alright. We check the last transfers on Wikipedia. There's not going to be that much there, I don't think. RA Esports, okay. I don't know. I think that's probably a chat. I think I'm tapping out. NA is just very hard to get a grasp on right now. I think I have a good understanding of where my head's at with Korea and EMEA at the very least, though. NA is going to be the tough one outside of the obvious. We shall see, chat. I think that just about wraps it up, though. I'm sorry I don't have much for NA for any of you who are genuinely curious, but there's not that much information, apparently. I am genuinely sad. Games are going to start March 1st. The Swiss stage for EMEA and NA, March 1st. Check out people's streams. They'll potentially stream the games. Korea starts March 1st as well. Their games start. That'll be on stream, the round robin, I believe. So look out for that. And yeah, chat. I'm going to head out now. I appreciate all of you for hanging out. I know I'm mostly kind of just talking to myself and looking at things, but I feel like my head's in a better space now, and I appreciate you guys for helping out as well on that end. Hope you have a good rest of your night, everybody, and I will catch you next time. There will be lots of videos this week and streams, so stay tuned. Peace.